It opened at the Berlin Film Festival, and Alan was asked to comment on the lack of lead roles on offer to older actresses like Sigourney.
I think it's everybody's loss. There are, great older women. Why do we always have to look for the new model on the... It's like a car showroom.
Yeah, fresh faces, right?
Yeah, well, it's crazy. It's our loss. It means we're a bit immature, isn't it?
That would surely have been music to the ears of one jury member, British actress Charlotte Rampling, who frequently speaks out about the pressure on women to keep looking young. It also spoke volumes about Alan's 40-year relationship with former councilwoman Rima Horton, with whom he shares a home in London. 2006 also brought round the opportunity to take part in the long-awaited big-screen adaptation of Patrick Süskind's novel Perfume.
Zwölfnotenaliges Parfum kann man nur komponieren, indem man eine besondere Note hinzufügt.
Letzte Nacht habe ich geträumt, du seist tot.
There was huge pressure on the film to live up to expectations.
I wasn't directing it, so it was easier for me because I just had to act it. But I knew that I was in the hands of a very great director, and so really it was put on the costume and put on the wig and say my lines.
He reprised the role of the protective father in Tim Burton's adaptation of a Stephen Sondheim musical, although this time there were ulterior motives. In Sweeney Todd, he plays the slimy bully Judge Turpin, who intends to marry the young woman he's been raising as his ward.
Mercy on yourself.
Underneath all the throat-slitting, cannibalism and sexual perversion, Alan saw the film's softer side.
Tim's turned it into something almost poetic and rather beautiful. So, good triumphs in the end.
The following year, he headed for the countryside for a taste of the finer things in life, to join the cast and crew of the drama Bottle Shock.
I'm not introducing anything completely
The film, which co-starred Bill Pullman, Rachel Taylor and Chris Pine, revolved around the world of wine and was set in the Napa Valley region of California.
This guy, Stephen Spurrier, who I play, ran a wine shop in Paris, and in order to publicise that, he took advantage of the then American bicentennial to set up a blind wine tasting between American and French wines. And there's no way it could have been a fix because his jury was some of the most celebrated all French jury, wine experts and chefs and wine writers of the time. And history tells us that the American wines won.
Unlike some of his more stuffy peers, South London's Jason Statham honed his craft by following his parents into street theatre. He also showed an early aptitude for sports such as football and the martial arts. And at the age of 22, he came 12th in the World Diving Championships, before becoming a model for French Connection. A few years later, he met Guy Ritchie, who was looking for someone to play a streetwise con artist in Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels. It was the kickstart to the film career Jason was looking for.
Doing what I did on the street corners that got me a part in a Guy Ritchie movie, and then, several films later, I met up with Luc Besson, and he was the catalyst for all these sort of action movies I'm doing now. If it wasn't for him and the Transporter franchise, then I don't think anyone would have known that I could, do some of the physical sort of stuff that I've sort of been doing for years.
His background in martial arts enabled him to do all his own stunts in Transporter, which immediately brought him passage to the sequel in 2005.
Yeah, you have to be physically strong and flexible. So, like you say, you don't pull muscles, and
right.
if you just come, spend 3 weeks in the bar and then turn up on a movie set ready to do all these kind of things, you're going to hurt yourself.
In between the two Transporters was a supporting role in the remake of The Italian Job, as well as small parts in Cellular and Collateral. In 2005, he collaborated for a third time with his old mate Guy Ritchie on the no-holds-barred slugfest Revolver. that was slammed by critics for the seeming gratuitousness of its violence.
It's violence for violence sake, you know, if there is such a thing. I mean, it helps with the story. I mean, I don't think this kind of a story can exist without the violence within it. So, I mean, it's necessary.
Then came a lead role in Crank, in which his character unwittingly drinks a poison that forces him to keep his adrenaline pumping. Otherwise, he'll drop dead.
It's about a man who's trying to find the man who killed him and trying to sustain his life while he does so in a certain amount of time. I suppose you could liken it to... in fact, I'm not going to liken it to anything. That's my answer. Because this one stands quite alone in the way it's shot and the way it looks. So to liken it to anything would be an injustice to the movie.
In an interview with Maxim magazine, Jason said the film's frenetic pace reminded him of his own life, which had 3 films a year for the last 2 years to show for itself. Perhaps his hectic lifestyle had been the catalyst for his split with girlfriend Kelly Brook, who ran off with Billy Zane on the set of Survival Island in 2005. The pace barely let up, however, in 2007, when he signed up to star alongside Jet Li in the action thriller War. It was his second opportunity to work with a martial arts legend.
He is, you know, he can play very cold, very, very, very chilling. But off screen, he is quite the opposite. You know, he's always joking, and he has a very colourful personality that really shines through.
After flying to America for the remake of Death Race 2000, he was grateful to be back in Old Blighty for the high-octane heist caper, The Bank Job.
Nothing more rewarding than coming back and making a film in the UK, so there just seems to be a lack of material for me.
The film, loosely based on the walkie-talkie Baker Street bank robbery of 1971, went over large with critics and audiences around the world, which should ensure Jason can be a bit more picky about where he works in the future.
Just happy working, you know. If we can keep working, and, you know, the more I get to come home and do a film, sleep in my own bed, it'll make me much happier.